بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال سليمان عليه السلام لأطوفن الليل ب70 أو ب100 امرأة تلد كل امرأة منهن غلاما يقاتل في سبيل الله فلم تلد إلا واحدة وكان نصف إنسان. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam reporting about Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam that he one day said that tonight I'm going to have a relationship with his wives, 70 or 100 of them. Each one of them is going to have a baby boy who will fight in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His king told him to say inshallah. For some reason he didn't. One of those 70 or 100 had a boy, half human being. Half human, half God knows beast, something. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم والذي نفسي بيده لو أنه قال إن شاء الله لما حنث في يمينه وهو درك لحاجته يعني لاحق بحاجته يعني يتحقق ما أراد. He said by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that if he said inshallah he would have gotten 70 or 100 boys and they will do what he was looking for, which is fighting in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This story reminds me of the saying of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Kahf وَلَا تَقُولَنَّ لِشَيْءٍ إِنِّي فَاعِلٌ ذَلِكَ غَدًا إِلَّا أَن يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ. Do not say that I'm going to do something tomorrow unless you say inshallah. And if you look at our life, I'll see you tomorrow, I'll call you tomorrow, I'll bring it tomorrow. We go together. We, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as if we have control of everything. Oh, this is a negative behavior. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the people of Quraysh, sent the top elite chiefs to negotiate with him and finally to ask him some questions, that was asked by rabbis who know about the religious stories, the past religious stories, to ask him 3 questions. And one of the questions is about the fityat ashab al-kahf, the youngsters of the people of the cave, and about Dhul Qarnayn, and about the spirit, ar-ruh. So they asked a question. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ desperately working for them to say La ilaha illallah, and he is reaching high level of ridicule and harsh treatment and persecution and everything. So he needed desperately to answer these questions, and hopefully people will follow, or at least keep away from him, get some credit. So he's connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so he said tomorrow I'll let you know. He didn't say inshallah. What does he do with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Making da'wah. Who is he? The best of mankind. He's doing the top thing, pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he is number 1 beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And look what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him. He didn't, no revelation. Almost over 2 weeks, little over 2 weeks. 2 weeks And he said, I'll tell you tomorrow. And they're dying to find something against him. Now, they found it. Every one of us saying it looks like his shaitan left him. Imagine yourself listening to that, and you're doing the da'wah for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who gives you the answer, and He does this for you. Imagine the feeling, and then the answer comes. وَلَا تَقُولَنَّ لِشَيْءٍ إِنِّي فَاعِلٌ ذَلِكَ غَدًا. He answered the question of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after that one period, 15 days, and then He told him, do not say, I'm going to do something tomorrow without inshallah. You get the point? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given the adab to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, how you deal with Allah, with yourself in your life, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's the one who brought you here. He's the one who made you listen. He's the one who made you see. He's the one who provided whatever you're doing for yourself. Don't you ever forget that. Even when you want to do something, don't count on that unless Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives it. What I learned from this one is not only to just do inshallah, but that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't look at who are you and what status you have. Don't you ever feel this way, that because I am, alhamdulillah, I pray in the masjid 5 times or every Isha, and I'm fasting, and I donate, and I, you know, if I do little sin here and there, if I smoke 1 cigarette, or if I listen to 1 song, or I do this and that, what's the big deal? This is how most of us, we're not even doing good, and we say that. But imagine, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, just inshallah, he didn't let it go. He accounted for him. Look at Prophet Yunus alayhi salam. He's leaving. He gave up from the people. They're not listening. They're not doing anything. He gave up. He locked him up in the stomach of the whale in the bottom of the sea. Look at Prophet Adam alayhi salam. Don't eat from that tree. Took them. How many things Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us not to eat or not to do, and we're breaking it left and right? What happened to Prophet Adam alayhi salam? From heaven, He brought him down here. Picture your life here and picture your life in heaven. Here is the trials and the pain and the suffering and all of that, because he ate from the tree, 1 sin, and He forgave him for it. And that feeling stayed with Prophet Adam alayhi salam and will stay until the day of judgment. He will not have the guts to go and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to intercede for the people, because he remembers that sin. 1 sin, brother, 1. How many you have? Billions. I'm not exaggerating. If you want to start counting, and what size of sin do we have? And then we dare to make dua and also complain that the dua is not answered. Yani, come on, calm down. Where are we from this? That's what I'm saying. وَلَا تَقُولَنَّ لِشَيْءٍ إِنِّي فَاعِلٌ ذَلِكَ غَدًا إِلَّا أَن يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ. We read that ayah. Maybe all of us read it every Friday. Did we ever really reflect on it in our life and see how we stand from it? And what, if you read a story, oh, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not send the message, that wahi to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam 2 weeks, and you keep on as if you just read a story. It's a normal thing. You do not think, who is Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? You don't think about the need for the answer at that time. You don't think, who are the people waiting for that? You don't think about his feeling when his name is the truthful, the honest. He promised them tomorrow, and tomorrow he did not have it. You don't think about all of those feelings. How many times you build your answer on somebody else's, like someone wants something from me. I tell him, inshallah, I'll get it for you next week, based on his promise. And then he does not fulfill the promise. How bad I feel, and I'm not even the one who failed it. It's another person I'm depending on. Yet, we read and we go. Brothers and sisters, my advice to myself and you, never look at yourself. You're so special before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that little sin is no big deal. Always say inshallah, and at the same time, remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punishes good people faster. Good people are punished faster. So if every time you sin, you get slapped right away, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves you. You're special in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because He doesn't want you to get deeper into separating the gap or increasing the gap between you and Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us reflect on the Quran. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us from those who fulfill the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jazakumullahu khairan. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.